Hello, it's Friday. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. It has been a week filled with information for you to pick and choose from, and I just want you to remember as well that you can always go back to videos if you, on the day that we release them, you don't fancy like watching them. They're always there for you to get back to. Maybe some of you have already started organizing their space. Maybe some have found a really cool online training. Maybe some of you, like Zoe, have actually made a potato and leek soup. And maybe some of you have even looked into some budgeting and finances ideas. So well done for this week, everyone. And today we've got Chef Michael back with his Larder Living series, part 2. He will be talking about recipes. So I will just let him explain what he means by that. Enjoy the video, and I'll see you back here on Monday, everyone. Bye-bye.
Someone once asked Arthur Ashe, the tennis legend, how do you achieve something great? His response, start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. The Hotel School's Larder Living series is about applying the art of the possible to cooking. That means starting with what's in the cupboard. Then you follow a good idea, apply a bit of skill and know-how, and you can end up with something really satisfying to eat. With cooking, sometimes taking a small and simple approach is easy to overlook, but often it's a recipe for success. In this video, I'm going to share a few non-recipe recipes that don't require following a strict set of prescribed steps and measurements like you would in a cookbook. Instead, we'll use a few classic guidelines that are easy to remember and easy to do. What's more, these non-recipe recipes are super reliable and versatile. This gives you some creative space to use your own flair and whatever you've got in the cupboard to come up with something really tasty. So I'd like to show you 3 of my favorite non-recipe recipes: a jam jar vinaigrette, a mystery bean hummus, and a 2-minute tossed salad in a bag. All 3 recipes are quick, easy, and inexpensive to prepare, and they're full of satisfying flavor and good nutrition. Combine them and they provide some incredible colors, flavors, and textures. The majority of ingredients I'll be using are among the most basic that you're likely to have on hand. These are the perfect larder lodgers yearning for liberation. So let's start here. So here are the ingredients that you'll need for the hummus. A can of 400-gram can of chickpeas, or if you don't have chickpeas, use another kind of bean. I don't have chickpeas, so I'm using butter beans. That's going to be just fine. The juice of a lemon, a garlic clove crushed, a tablespoon of tahini. You can find tahini in most large supermarkets. A tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. You can also use a regular olive oil, but it'll be cheaper, but it won't taste as nice. Some pepper, some salt, and optionally a pinch of cumin. Oh, and a little bit of cold water. So let's start with the lemon. I'm just going to cut this in half and then use a fork to help me squeeze that in. I'm using a yogurt container to mix this up in, and it has a nice sealable lid, so it's perfect for whipping it up and for storing it as well. And the other half, and if you get a seed, just scoop that out. Okay, then we'll add a tablespoon of olive oil, tablespoon of tahini, then give that a good mix. We'll add the garlic clove. I'm just trimming off the root end of that, giving it a whack on the board, the paper to come off. If you don't want to use a knife to flatten and make a paste out of the garlic, you can use, obviously, a garlic crusher. Give that a mix around. It'll look a bit curdled, which is fine. And then we're going to add just a little bit of cold water, which will help smooth it out. Okay, let's add the beans. These have been drained. Some salt. Pepper. And a good pinch of cumin. Next, using a potato masher. This one I found at Tesco's for about 70p. It's a great sturdy little potato masher. I'm just going to work the beans in the liquid, in the garlic. Takes a bit of stirring, and the consistency is really coming up nicely. And voila. Be sure and taste before serving. Pretty good. Yum. Needs a little bit of salt. A bit of pepper, and I really like tahini, so I'm going to add just a little bit more, but you don't have to. Delicious. And then to present the hummus, just put it in a plate or a shallow bowl. Take a knife, smooth it out a little bit, create a well, something like that. And to serve, just a drizzle of olive oil. Beautiful. Right, for the next non-recipe recipe, I'm going to do a classic vinaigrette. Now, I'm calling this a non-recipe because you don't really need to remember anything other than the proportion of oil to vinegar. And that is 3 parts oil to 1 part vinegar. Right? So if you remember that ratio, you don't need a recipe. It's that simple. Okay, vinaigrette is a great quick sauce. You can literally whip it up in seconds. I'm doing mine with a jam jar, which I hope I've got a lid to. Yeah. Jam jar, because it's great for shaking it up, and then obviously you can store it in the jam jar as well. In terms of ingredients, I'm using extra virgin olive oil because of the flavor. It's really great. But you can use any kind of oil. You can use all-purpose vegetable oil. You could use safflower oil. Whatever you've got in the house, you can pretty much make a vinaigrette with. Olive oil is my preference. You'll need some vinegar. In this case, I'm using apple cider vinegar because I think it's got a subtle fruity flavor. It's not too sour. I really like cooking with it, but you can use any vinegar that you have. You can use white wine vinegar, red wine vinegar, rice vinegar. And if you don't have vinegar, use lemon juice. You just need an acid basically. So lemon juice, or you could even use orange juice or grapefruit juice to add to your vinaigrette. Optionally, you can add a little bit of mustard, and mustard is great because it adds some warm, savory notes, some flavor. And it also helps you to create an emulsion out of the sauce. So it will combine two things that normally don't like to hang out with each other, vinegar and oil, into a smooth sauce. If the sauce breaks over time, just shake it up in the jar when the vinegar's been added, and it will come together in no time flat. Right, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper for seasoning, and basically that's it. Some people like a little bit of sweet, so if you want, you can add a smidgen, half a teaspoon or so of sugar to the vinegar and oil mixture, and it will give you a sweet note to balance the acidity. And vinaigrettes are super versatile. Once you have it made, you can add all order of things to up the flavor. So, for instance, you could snip some chives with the scissors. If you've got a shallot hanging around the house, you can mince the shallot and throw it into the vinaigrette. And garlic as well. Garlic and vinaigrette is really delicious. Okay, let's make it. Right, the ratio of oil to vinegar is 1 part vinegar to 3 parts oil. So and you just want to eyeball that. So visually, I'm going to go for 1 part of this vinegar to 3 parts of oil. Easy peasy. Right? It's getting there. And that looks about right. Doesn't have to be perfect. You're going to taste it in the end, and you can always add a bit more vinegar and a bit more oil if you need to. Right. Just a little bit of salt. Some pepper. I'm going to use mustard in mine. Just a little will do, not too much. Right. And on goes the top. What a great color. And always taste your vinegar or your vinaigrette to make sure that it's seasoned properly, and best to taste it on something that you're going to eat it with, that you're going to dress it with. So I've got a bit of cucumber that I'll have in a salad. Really nice. I'm going to add a bit more salt. It needs it. A bit more pepper. And just a little more mustard. Great. Oh my gosh, super delicious. And I just happen to have some chives hanging around, so I'm going to make a nice chive vinaigrette. And there's a lovely chive vinaigrette, which I made in about 2 minutes. And the final non-recipe recipe is a tossed salad. I want to tell you just a little bit about value. Yeah, it's a lot cheaper to buy whole heads of lettuce, if you will, than the mixed, ready-to-eat bags of lettuce. For instance, I did a little bit of research here, and I found that, get the price on these. A head of iceberg lettuce at Tesco's is 62p. That works out to about 12p per 100 grams. A gem lettuce, similar to this lettuce here, is 38p per 100 grams. And a salad mix, the ready-to-eat mixed salad mix, is £1.38 per 100 grams. That's it's almost a pound more than the gem lettuce by weight. So buy the whole heads of lettuce, check the prices, compare them, and save yourself some money. Right. For the lettuce, I washed this in the salad spinner, and I've just cut them in half to make them easier to clean. That's all. If you don't have a salad spinner, we used to do this in a restaurant when we didn't have the salad spinner. Use a bag like this, make sure it's clean, of course, pierce it with some small holes, put your well-washed leaves of lettuce in the bag, go into the bathroom, in the shower, and swing it around, and the centrifugal force will take the water away, and it's as good as a salad spinner. So there's a little tip for you. Okay, yes, when we're talking about value, the cost of the lettuce, be sure not to restrict your notion of value too narrowly. So, of course, cost per kilo or cost per 10 gram is really important, but what else do you get for your money? And you know I'm really big on flavor, on nutrition. With salads, go for colors, go for a range of colors, a range of textures, and a range of flavors. 2 or 3 will be fine. You don't need more than that. In fact, more than 2 or 3 contrasting tastes or colors or textures can become a little bit complicated and it loses its strength. So keep it simple, but go for some contrasting flavors and textures. Let's put this salad together really quickly. I think I promised that we'd do this in a couple of minutes. So assuming that you've washed your lettuce already, find yourself a bag to toss your salad in. I'm a big fan of Ziploc bags. You can wash them after you use them and reuse them. They're super, super useful if you're not working with Ziploc bags. I am going to save myself some time here and use scissors rather than a knife to cut, and this works just perfectly. The little bit at the end you can either discard, or I think they're delicious, so you can eat those separately. Of course, you want to invest in a good pair of kitchen scissors, but you can get them at large Tesco, for instance, and they're not expensive. Okay, let's do just a little bit more. Okay, so again, this started out as whole lettuce. It's a lot cheaper, and that's looking pretty nice already. I actually got a couple of colors going on there, but let's dull it up a little bit. I've got some carrot that was just about to go manky on the refrigerator with me, and I want to get this into the salad, but I don't want to fuss with it too much in terms of cutting it. So I'm just going to rest it here on the surface. Look how well that works. Using a vegetable peeler. Really nice slices, cuts. Of course, you want to cut the carrot the length of the carrot that you want in the salad. If you want it longer, then obviously just make it a little bit longer, and so forth. Okay, that goes into the bag. Okay, I've got a bit of cucumber here, so again, working with the vegetable peeler, you can take all of the green off, or go for stripes, which is what I like. And then cut into slices. you don't want the round slices, if it's too big, then just cut them in half for crescents. And they go into the bag. What else? I've got some radishes here. Great color, great peppery flavor. Doesn't take too many. Into the bag. And let's finish up with some tomato. I'm going for about 6 wedges for the tomato into the bag, and I think I have used, almost used up all of my ingredients. I really love spinach and watercress, and I found this on sale, on special at Tesco's. I forget exactly how much it was, but it was definitely cheaper than it normally is, and it was in keeping in terms of money for value with the lettuces. So I splurged a little, and I'm going to add some of these. They're some great, beautiful range of leaves and shapes. And the watercress and the rocket, super peppery, really, really nice. In the bag. And toss. Tell me a bowl. Great. Now, you can eat this right away, of course, or it's in a Ziploc baggie, so just seal it up and it's ready to go in the refrigerator. Be sure and not dress your salad and put it in the bag because, of course, it'll wilt. It won't last very long. But there you go, salad in a bag in about 2 minutes. Et voila, there's the finished product. Okay, let's wrap this up. You know, so much of good cooking starts with the foundation of basic ingredients and trusting your instincts as a cook to start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. Oh, I almost forgot. How is your larder doing? You know, maybe you have some non-recipe recipes to share of your own. Here's an opportunity to focus on giving, one of the 5 foundations of well-being. Share a tip with other hotel school grads in the comments space below. Have a good week and enjoy cooking and eating well.